Hi guys, this is adv.photos, and you may have noticed I've already put up one video regarding my travel plans and my plans in general for 2019. This is a completely separate video. This is all about people that take the mick basically when they are looking for a photographer. Now I use a few sites, and one site in particular which I used for my portfolio shoot back in December, where I put a listing on. Some people honestly don't understand how much they should be offering a photographer for what is essentially a professional or semi-professional job. Now I'll give you an example. Someone wanted someone to shoot like an event. It wasn't. It was just a family type event, not a wedding or anything like that. But they were basically saying it's going to be 3-4 hours minimum wage, so less than £8 an hour. You want a photographer to shoot something, and the list of requirements as to what they wanted, the results. So you want the sort of service that would take someone, they could be there shooting for the 3-4 hours that you want them for, and then they could spend double that editing the photos to the level that you want, and you only want to pay them less than 50 quid. Well, less than 40 quid. I mean, I'm sorry, what? And this is, unfortunately, this is not an uncommon thing. For example, I saw an advert just a couple of days ago where this fellow wants this guy was advertising for an Asian bridal wear, well, Asian wedding photography, where he just wanted himself photographed in his wedding outfit. He said, oh yes, an hour. Oh, if you've got a studio, that's great. And he was offering 50 quid. Now, people charge more than that just to do professional headshots, and if you look at my website, you'll see how much I charge for something like that. And I think it's the fault of all these, possibly the fault of all these mobile phones. People see all these fantastic photos from mobile phones and think, oh yeah, they don't need a camera, they can just use their phone. Or, oh yeah, cameras, they don't cost that much. Well, for example, I'm filming this on an M50. Now, a Canon M50. Now that costs over £500 with a lens, with the lens kit. Now, the camera I shoot on my photography with, and I will be shooting more video with as well this year, is a Fujifilm X-T3. Now, the body alone is about £1,200, I think it is, last time I saw. And even with the kit lens, you're looking at 1,500–1,600 quid. And then you've got to insure it, you've got extra batteries, memory cards, it all adds up. And I don't think some people realise just how much it actually costs to have a half decent photo kit. You've got the camera, you've got the lens, you've got the memory cards, you've got the battery, spare battery. Now if you shoot video like I'm trying to do as well, you've also got maybe an extra camera or two. I mean, I've got an action cam as well, which I'm hoping to use for time lapses. I've got a microphone, which is what's recording this right now, the audio into the camera. I have video lights. I've got 2 video lights, LEDs, one there which you can see is dimmed, and one up here which dimmed that side. I also have another lamp over there which is an LED lamp. Now they all cost money, and things to run them cost money, and they need to be insured. I've got 3 lenses for my camera as well. The 16-55, which weighs an absolute ton, isn't image stabilised, and it's about £900 new. The 80mm macro, that's even more, and the 50-140 even more, and the 1.4 multiplier that fits those two. So you add all that up, I think my insurance for all my photography kit, which doesn't include, by the way, this camera. I haven't included this because I did it before I got this. Is somewhere, I think it's over £5,000. Over £5,000 worth of camera equipment insured. And that also includes public liability insurance. That's the other thing that people don't realise, I don't think. You have to have public liability insurance, because if you want to do paid jobs, or even if you just want to do time for print jobs, you have to have public liability insurance, because if somebody gets injured during your shoot, well, it's your shoot, you're responsible, it's your fault, and you're financially liable. So having insurance, that's the other point. Got to have insurance. And I don't think people realise this. I really don't. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault. Photography has been democratised so much with the digital revolution in the last 20 years. I mean, when I went on my first trip to Australia in 2006, I had a tiny little compact camera, but only the second ever digital camera I'd ever had. I had a bridge camera as well, which I didn't take with me because I thought it would way too much. So yeah, and then of course 10 years later, 10.5 years later, I go back and I've got a Canon EOS 5 DSR, full frame camera and an L lens slapped on the front. And so yeah, and you see that with the tourists. You see all these tourists with their phones, with their little compact cameras. It's just everywhere, and you have websites to put them all on. You have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So yeah, the democratization of photography has, I think, given people a false sense of what a photographer is and what they do. I mean, that doesn't take into account, of course, the software you have to use to edit photos. Yes, there are free ones, and they are some of them are quite difficult, some of them are quite good, some of them are quite difficult. But if you want to make sure your camera is supported, like mine, for example, my Fujifilm, my Fujifilm camera wasn't supported when I bought it by Lightroom. I had to wait almost a month for the update to come out for it to be fully supported. But I could have, of course, bought something like Capture One, which has a specific Fujifilm version, which is for Fujifilm. They also have one for Sony as well. Now, I have thought about migrating over to that. I've got the Express version at the moment, which is something I'll be trying out in the coming photo shoots that I do. So yeah, this whole digital revolution has completely changed the landscape for photography and photographers, because photographers now, they're not just expected to shoot pictures, they're also expected to shoot video. A lot of them are expected to shoot video now, and a lot of photographers do shoot video. A lot of photographers I follow on YouTube are obviously shooting video because they're on YouTube. But there's one in particular, a Canadian guy, can never remember his full name, Brendan Van something. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments below. He vlogs on the new Canon EOS R. He takes it on a gimbal and walks places with it while he's using his 5D Mark IV. So yeah, you're expected to shoot video nowadays as well as take photos, which is why you see the Sony a7 III, which is fantastic all-round camera, I have to say. Even the XT3 and the XH2 specs that have been speculation of the specs are aimed at photographers that shoot video as well. Nikon's new Z series, the Z6 especially, probably more so than the Z7. The Z7 seems to be more of a photocentric camera, though that may change. And Canon's EOS R, I'm not so sure about that one. But you look at the market now, especially mirrorless cameras, DSLRs are starting to catch up with the latest ones and the expected latest versions, so like the D6, the 5D Mark V, and the 1DX Mark III, if they ever make a 1DX Mark III. All the speculation about those particular cameras are that they'll be able to film full frame 4K, some of them downsampled from 6 or even 8K to 4K. And now the mirrorless are starting to possibly push on as well, with Sony's A7R Mark IV possibly being a full 8K camera along with the A7 Mark IV. Now, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, expected to shoot video as well as photography. So yeah, this is my little rant about, well, kind of diverged off a bit, but this is kind of my thing, that people don't understand. I don't think people understand now what a photographer is, what he does, and how much you should be paying them, to be quite honest. I mean, you look at professional wedding photographers, they get paid thousands, but then they're expected to have wonderful results, and if they don't get paid, they get poor reputation and they lose business. So yeah, that's my rant over. Have a nice week. I'll hopefully have another video for you next week, possibly at the weekend, depending on what I do. Bye.